Welcome back to 7CR. We're recording a little late this week, 6/6/2021. We've had a few days to play with Stasis changes, and they're significant. Ain't they, Mr. Warlock?
Oh, yeah. No longer is it just, instant win button. Like, you actually kind of have to think about what you're doing with it. And I like that a lot.
As a Stasis main, since it came out, they hit my boy pretty hard. It's a little sad, but I'll talk about it in a minute, but I'll venture to say that Behemoth Titan still S tier. Still can, like, if I was to rank subclasses, I would go right now. Thunder Crash and Behemoth are very close to a number one slot. Then Striker, Sentinel, and then finally Solar. Solar needs some help, but that's another topic altogether. So let's start with like the biggest thing that is noticeable. When you're hit by a slow, you still have your same aiming now.
Yep.
There's no
just suddenly forget how to aim and shit.
Yeah, you're just like, oh no, my gun, my hands, they're broken. That's gone, which is great. It actually makes it where if I step into a dust field and I step out, I still have a chance of winning the gunfight. You don't see hunters just throwing shurikens all over the damn place. A good stasis hunter is going to save that shuriken as a finisher.
When he has line of sight and, you can't like bank it off of walls and stuff.
Yeah. Like literally, we were playing Trials on Friday, me, Chance, and our friend Ace. And Chance literally was rushing a dude with a shotgun. And he tried to throw a ninja shard, and I see it bank off the wall and fly by Chance's head. It was pretty damn great.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen a week ago.
No, it would have nailed you in the head. It's just like... His Nova Lock looked like fucking Neo out of the Matrix. It was great. Behemoth, the melee range got nerfed. That one hurts, especially how I use my Titan. I didn't so much use the melee to get to maneuver, but I used it to blast into a fight. Like there was, what was it? Not Exodus Blue. The map with the tanker. I'm totally blanking.
Rusted Lands.
Earth map. Yes, Rusted Lands.
Yeah. There we go.
Rusted Lands, when we would start a match, especially in Banner, I would go rushing in straight to B after capping a point, melee in, and everybody get hit by the slow, and I would just go on a melee spree. I got a freaking lights out medal just rushing in. And I can't do that anymore. At least not yet. Once I get used to the range difference, I probably can. But until then, I'm kind of stuck. The way it plays now, it's less about the abilities themselves, more about the fragments, I feel. What do you think?
For a stasis lock, and like I obviously don't run stasis. I've never run stasis. I mean,
like it's for peasants.
I just
be gone
away from the novel warp. It's just like I'm dedicated to that lifestyle. I got to be the last Void Walker running that subclass. But fighting it right, fighting that super specifically as a Nova Warp and with my hand mobility and whatnot, it doesn't feel like they've changed much because 50 meters is like half a map. And beyond that is when the tracking like dies. And outside of the super, that melee was to freeze, which they can still do, and then follow up with like a shotgun or something. The freeze duration on the Rift is since they killed the duration on non super freezes, it's not as viable in PvP. Which I mean,
No.
it's whatever. But I'm seeing
Which was
people
annoying
run
as
the
hell
Stasis
before.
turret. Yeah, exactly. Like you would just pop that like while you're okay. So someone pop it on you while you're a super, and then that would be lights out for your whole super, and you wouldn't have really any counterplay against that.
Yeah.
Now that people are running the Stasis turret to just slow people, which is like it's all right. It's not as good as like the Hunter kit with slowing and whatnot, but it's whatever.
It's actually I can kind of contribute to this because I was using the turret before the nerfs. Thing is low key really good if you are sniping.
That's right. It
because
kind of
it
watches
will-
your ass.
Yeah.
Not only that, but if you throw it, I don't know if it does this. I don't know if it got nerfed. I don't remember. But it will highlight people.
Yeah. Still does it.
So you are getting, some cheeky little hacks if you can, get some tags.
If you watch it, it snaps to anybody. Like even if they're
Yep.
if they're remotely within range.
I think they reduced the aim assist on it.
They
Like how much it tracked people.
They did that to the supers attack, not the turret. The turrets are still fine. Oh, and the base melee.
Right.
But other than that, like, I mean, Shadebinder still works the same way, but they're not gonna like exodus from it or whatever. It's pretty much the exact same thing. If they weren't running it before, they're not gonna run it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
And then I guess I can say fighting hunters who are running Revenant. It's still an S tier. It's still S tier class.
Oh yeah. It's just because it has so much in the kit.
Strengths. Yeah.
With Titans,
which is fine. It can be. It's all to be.
Yeah. With Titans stuff, it went from a space of its mobility being how it is and whatnot. Like, okay, the community has this bad habit of saying everything is OP, and
yeah, they do.
It's OP in its scenario. So, my example here. We've all played since D1, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, just want to make sure we're all on the same page before I go further, because otherwise, some of the youngins out there won't remember this shit. When we all remember the Trials of the Disco Ball, right? Fucking Hardlight reigning supreme. Yep. That was OP, right? We can agree that was crazy.
Yeah, that was busted.
But that was not as busted as Thorn being able to 2-tap and people burn out in D1, right?
False. No. Thorn was completely balanced.
Oh my gosh.
Dion, House of Wolves was the best meta in Destiny history. I'll murder anyone.
I'll give you that. It was the best meta.
I will agree to that, minus Thorn. But this is coming from a guy that used Thorn. Like,
just use Red Death. I used Thorn. Just break out your Red Death.
I swore off Thorn during that time. I didn't want to be one of those guys.
Oh, I totally was one of those guys. I wanted the dub.
Give me a nice little celestial fire and a bunch of grenades. Oh yeah.
So now see two totally different things.
Viking,
but both got called OP at 2 different times. So it was considered OP by the comparison of the stuff that was going on around it.
It's the community has a habit of seeing something become meta, getting killed by it a lot, and going, well, everyone's using it, that means it must be broken. Yeah. It's every single meta we go through.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. I mean, so with the
that's not to say that there aren't things that are broken, but
yeah,
obviously.
What I'm trying to get is with Stasis Time. People are saying that it got gutted and that it's horrible now because it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, I think you guys
it's still good.
Small buff.
It's still good. Throw on your Antaeus words. Throw on Cryoclasm. Throw on the fragment that gives you melee energy for picking up crystals. And where your grenade makes an extra crystal and shit. Focus on getting that melee energy back through the crystals. You do that, you'll be solid. You're going to have to relearn that the melee is, if you're wanting to hit people, you hold it to move in the direction you're wanting. If you're wanting just to like use it to move, tap it like a shoulder charge. You get that down, instant S tier. Otherwise, you're going to be like me the first day. Like, Chance was here saying, I said, they murdered my boy. I was pissed. Because I like Stasis. And, I mean, I didn't abuse it. I mean, honestly, I barely even popped the damn super. I used the melee more than anything. How many people did I eat off in a match, Chance?
Quite a few.
Uh-huh.
And everyone used to.
If somebody stood still long enough, they were flying either off the map or into a wall. One of the two. And now I'm having to play it differently. It's almost like relearning the whole subclass. Which is really sucks, because now you're having to unlearn all the shit you learned before. But it's very solid. Like, it's really good if you can get by that. Haven't had any time with Stasis Hunter, although that was my second favorite after Athers's throwing knives, because I want people to question their internet when I hit him, when I freaking two-shot him off the wall with a knife. But overall, it's good. Like, it's honestly in a really good spot. Dare I say almost balanced? I mean, because Stasis as a whole is supposed to be about crowd control. So the freezing and slowing is what people are all up in arms about, because, the light subclasses can't do that. But that's not what they're for.
I mean, so from what I kind of gathered, and they have this, like, I don't know, some devs were on this thing as well, and they kind of confirmed this. I feel like Stasis was supposed to be, like, defensive from the beginning, but because those offensive capabilities were, like, turned up to an 11, and the community, when they find something, they're going to break the hell out of it. That kind of made it, like, busted. And, like, a lot of all they needed to do, really, to balance, quote-unquote, balance it, is honestly that the slow thing and how that, like, affected accuracy was a huge thing. And they hit that, and we're kind of good now. I don't think I have any grievances with Stasis or where it is right now.
I honestly don't either. The one thing I do have a slight complaint about is, and it's more of just a mechanic thing. It's not even in a particular class's kit. It's that each class really doesn't have a way to do certain shit. Like, Hunters have an easy way to smash crystals. Shatter Death. Boom. Done.
Warlocks do not.
Warlocks don't. Exactly. Titans have the middle ground where we have a way to smash crystals, but I have to get a running start first to be able to slide through it.
Mm-hmm.
Warlocks
you guys can't slow, right? That's another thing.
No, I can't. Not anymore. They took that away from my melee.
Yeah.
All I have is nades.
And then Warlocks do the instant freezes, but they're not great at smash. Well, they don't smash, and then they can slow, but don't do too much of that.
Yeah. Well, your turret lets you slow now.
Well, yeah, that sure, but like
but you have to place the turret in the right spot.
Exactly.
Hope that.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, because if you're talking in terms of slow, Hunters have a dodge that immediately slows.
Yeah, dodge.
Warlock has something that you have to that can slow, but you have to kind of know what you're doing with it. I have nothing that slows now, so it's like a kind of.
Actually, no, we're wrong. We're forgetting. Warlock. Oh no, that freezes. That's not a slow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, it's like they're playing a game of cat and mouse with the classes. That you can do this, but you can't do that.
Yeah, I think like the idea was. It almost seems like the idea is to make it so you have to play with, like, you can't rock 3 Hunters, or see what I'm saying? Like, you can't rock all tight.
Like, they've got strengths and weaknesses, basically.
Yeah, they're basically trying to make it so, like, okay, well, if I'm a Warlock, I want to look for, a hunter or like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to kind of cover up each other's weaknesses, I would guess. I like, if that's not the case, it's certainly a interesting side effect of their choices,
Yeah.
which would surprise me if it's not something they intended. It's just something that kind of happened. But
we also don't know what aspects and fragments are dropping either. So like
it's true.
next season, they could add something that gives Titans their slow, and that could be their little niche for slowing, and I think that'll be fine. Like it's cool to have the Titans be the smash class because that makes sense for Titans. It's cool to have the
Smash.
Hunters be the slow and disorient class because it makes sense for Hunters, and then Warlocks being like the power at your fingertips kind of class. It makes sense for us to be the freeze primarily class. There's a little like nice niche there. I kind of like.
I wanna
Look
see what
at the
happens
Warlock
when-
getting all smart on us.
I
These are
want
things
to
I
see what
picked up on.
happens. I want to see what happens when they eventually get to taking care of the light subclasses.
Yeah,
That's
that's
gonna
what
be
I'm
hard.
worried now.
How do you compete, or are we going to end up with it being all about like light subclasses and everyone's just like, Stasis?
Like,
Or
I think-
are they going to redo them and they're going to be this guy happened. They're going to redo them and they're going to be so fucking terrible that nobody uses it.
oh my god, that would be the worst case scenario.
Everyone's going to use Stasis and whatever the second darkness subclass will end up being.
I feel like at current we're in a really nice kind of niche, or not niche. Okay, that's not the right word. A nice kind of like balance between the like four subclasses. But the thing is with Void, Solar, and Arc, for the most part, they all do the exact same thing. They kind of just hurt things and then they die. So I guess maybe that light subclass thing would be giving them identities. Like Void would have, I don't know, all Void would be suppressing or whatever. So all Solar would burn, which it should. I don't know why they don't all. And then all like Arc stuff chains, and yeah, we get some things that do, but not everything. And
Yeah, I mean, as a hunter, like, what the hell do I have that chains other than arc bolt grenades?
exactly, like, I feel like that would, and then for I'm probably not sure that I don't have like full knowledge on this, but from what I can tell, aside from Dune Marchers, Titans can't change anything, right? Like I don't even think they have a chaining nade.
No, they just have lightning grenades, pulse grenades, and
Yeah,
like
like
flash grenades, concussions, or whatever they're called. Flash grenades. Those things are annoying.
yeah, and that's kind of like random, I think, to have. But
Yeah.
they're
They're lightning. It's fine. Deal with it.
I actually we ran into those in the Crucible. Some dude was put on fucking Armentarium and was running flashbangs. It's like, well, dude.
We've run into people using those in the past, along with GLs that have the concussion grenades or the blinding things. Yeah, it's super annoying. Very, very annoying. Smart, but
Annoying.
But like, I mean, from that standpoint, though, I mean, aside from breaking up the trees so that we can pick whatever the hell we want, because that should have been done a long time ago. I don't know what else they could do to buff the trees.
Give me back Blink.
I wouldn't be opposed to
As
that,
a hunter, I miss my ability to blink
I don't really know why they took that away from you guys.
because it was stupidly broken.
It was all right.
The hunter admitted it.
And,
The hunter admitted it.
I mean, I used to blade dance in D1, and I would blink all over the place with like my Matador 64 and make you hate your life. But
They like nerfed it into like
They
holy
did.
hell.
They did, and then I became a gunslinger. So that's been it. Because I hated the bow. The bow used to piss me off. I hated that super so
Oh,
much.
that needs a buff too. Like it's
Awful
it's
now.
really bad.
I mean, like, you try and suppress, unless you like actually predictively throw it somewhere, or your aim's just that fucking good. There's no way you're shutting down supers with it. Like, try and catch a top tree Dawn Blade. Yeah. Like a good.
Forget about it. I fucking Nova Warp and I can blink out of them. Like it's so easy.
Yeah, and subclasses useless in PvP. I mean, other than Spectral Blades, but I know somebody's gonna be like, "Well, Spectral Blades," I guess. True.
I feel like outside of Solar Titan, those middle tree classes are almost classes of all their own because they're so different. The only thing like different with the middle tree Solar Titan is Maul makes fire tornado, and I can't throw big hammer. That's the only difference.
Yeah,
they do the
well, I mean, the Hunter Arc Strider is basically the same except for the deflect. The melee is a little bit different, and I hate it, but you can deflect, which is nice. I would love the option to deflect with some of the other options on the tree. The other trees
or something. And
yeah, I honestly, well, according to those 4chan leaks. That we are supposed to be getting light subclass changes, and they are supposed to be in the fragment style kind of setup. But then again, it is a leak, so take it with a grain of salt.
And this is coming next season.
No.
Witch Queen.
I think they said Witch Queen. Yeah, we're not getting Witch Queen till 2022.
So we got a year.
Yeah. So
okay.
Early 2022. I think they predicted Witch Queen in like January, February-ish. So I mean,
because they did say that this was the first time in a long time that there hasn't been anything in the fall.
Well, they pushed. They announced that they pushed Witch Queen. I can't talk tonight. Back into early 2022.
They had to nerf Fates. They made it where he can't talk. Too strong. Got it.
Yeah, they announced that. Yeah, they announced that way.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Took over?
I remember.
Or before that? Yeah.
It was right when Joe took over, like literally the week of.
I'm willing to bet it had to do with... Which is a good
sign.
I'm willing to bet it had to do with, obviously the DLC, and I'm willing to bet it also had to do with that, because Light it just does not compare. Like, it compares, but...
The utility isn't there.
The custom, like, I can't customize it. Like, I can sit and I can be like, okay, this fragment gives me an extra whatever. Like, or, like,
now, what are we looking for in the light subclass reworks? My thought is just make each perk on the tree its own fragment. So, all the melee perks are one type of fragment. And you can pick and choose. So, like...
We'd have to get other stasis melees.
No. Like, for the light subclasses. So, like, all the arc melees are...
But, like, right now, there's no...
Kind of almost like what they did in D1. Where you could pick from the column.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I'm saying they would have to add more content.
Thunder Crash with, instead of Ballistic Slam, the shoulder charge. Imagine with me.
I'm willing to bet if they go that route, you're going to see some significant nerfs to things, just because like I'm imagining like running like
the thing is though, would that be such a bad thing? Because that would encourage gunplay to be more prevalent.
How so?
It's hard to say because like you don't know
now
we can sit in theory craft like I could say all right, well, like what is it, bottom tree arc strider gives health on melee kills, I think.
Yeah.
I could be like, okay, well, I can use I'll take that. I'll take my top tree. God, I haven't played my arc strider in forever. I'd be like, okay, well, I'll take my deflect from my super. I want melee heals, and I want I think top tree arc strider does the while running it recharges your abilities faster.
What I'm meaning is
but I'm saying
necessarily like the perks themselves, like as far as what they do. I'm talking like the melees and things like that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm saying like we can sit in theory craft, but we don't know how those things are going to interact together because like we just can't put them together yet.
Yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying.
So
like
it's hard.
If I'm running the bottom, if I'm running the middle tree and I get inertia override off of a ballistic slam, and then I can proc inertia override off a shoulder charge.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of busted.
So I'm sitting here going like, well, it's going to be really hard to sit and predict, especially for like we've seen how they handled Stasis launch and like other launches in the past. Like, could you imagine them trying to fine tune like what is it like? All those different melees, all those different like grenades, all those each individual slot. I like at once.
And
I would be okay. Yeah,
because
yeah.
You break up those trees that have already been like synergized on purpose. And okay, example. I'm rocking Nova Warp right now, right? I think the only thing I would actually change or swap out is like dark matter for like Devour or something. So then, if I do that, why would I ever?
Can you get more busted?
Exactly. Like that's my point. Because like that's busted as hell. Why would I ever switch off of that and pick anything else, right?
Yeah.
So like you do that with all the trees, then everyone's playing with the exact same playstyle, and that's probably not what they would want.
I mean, essentially, what's gonna have to happen is like.
But that's happening now with Stasis. Like,
I think the smartest thing to do would be like, all right, so I hate the middle tree arc strider melee, right? It's that arc chain on the ground. It's super annoying. If you miss by even like half a centimeter, you're screwed. You know, you take that, you like make that the core animation for the melee for arc strider on hunter, and then you add the fragments in where like health regeneration or like I forget what top tree does. I think it's something about damage, I think, or ability regeneration. Make those the fragments versus I don't know. It's going to be hard because you almost have to take something has to go, right? Like there's no way you can sit and combine some of these things because they're just too broken.
So unless like what Stasis does where you lose stats.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, unless Bungie says throw it all in the garbage for the most part, other than like the animations and stuff, and we'll rework like fragments and aspects and stuff for light subclasses, not based on what we already have, but like what like we think will work. I honestly think that would, I mean, it might end up being just about the same amount of work as trying to shoehorn everything else in the long run, but I think it would be better for the overall health of like light subclasses and PvP in general, because if not, it's I can already see it. It's going to be a nightmare that season that the light subclasses come out, because people are going to find the most broken people are going to find the most broken combination anyway, but I almost want to hedge my bets there and be like, well, it's broken, but it's not as broken as it could be.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like
I hope they don't just like surprise. We redid light subclasses, and it's more like 6 months before. 6 months before Witch Queen drops, they're like, "This is what we have. What do you people think?" I mean, obviously, you're not going to make everyone happy, but
Fates is never happy.
I'm happy, sometimes.
Only when he kicks children.
No, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they're like, I think it would be a lot better received if they were like, "This is what we're thinking. What are you thinking? Like, what do you people want?"
Yeah.
I mean, that would also be a good way to earn some good faith with the PvP community.
Yeah, how we
start to,
what are we at now? 620 some odd days? No PvP map?
Something like that.
800 since Gambit maps.
Oof.
Which is insane. I was gonna say, I mean, we can like theory about how they're gonna break these things up, or if they're gonna break them up, or if they're gonna, make new shit for us to use while keeping core elements like bomb and warp or whatever. Okay, go do your thing. I'll hold this if you wanna. Okay,
be right back. Sorry.
You good?
It's all good. Let me hold my train of thought.
I mean, we can still dog about it. It's just like,
Uh, all right. I'll just continue then. Yeah, we can sit here and like think about how they're gonna break them down, or how they're gonna nerf them or change them or whatever. But
yeah,
I think the best thing we can do is talk about the subclass, the super specifically that need help, because there's Nova Bomb that's good in PvP. I mean, no, whoa, PvE. But it's like if you don't know what you're doing, it's bad in PvP. Does that need a buff? There's Nova Warp, which like it's a niche kind of thing in PvP, and it is. Why would you ever run it in serious PvE content? Like you run that in strikes and have fun, or you run it in in like patrol or something and have fun. But you bring that to a grandmaster, you're getting laughed at, kind of thing. Like, does that need a buff? Like, I think we can definitely go around like the tree and say which needs to be buffed and whatnot.
yeah. I mean, Thundercrash is kind of one of those that.
Oh, that's Jack of all trades right there, and maybe Master of, because it's damn good.
That chess piece definitely made it viable in PvP or PvE.
Oh, yeah.
Without that chess piece, it's nothing.
Too. They might. I feel like they'll nerf that eventually because it does an absurd amount of damage.
But I mean, so does Celestial Fire or Celestial Nighthawk.
Not anymore. It does more than that. It does quite a bit more than that. The only thing that damages both now is that Hunter boots, and they gotta pick up like 8 orbs afterwards to get that to work.
But I mean, also on the same token, though, how much, like, okay, the whole goal of of using that thing is to do as much damage as possible to a boss, right?
Yeah.
Look how fucking close I am to a boss after I use that thing.
Like I'm thinking about it, trade-off and whatnot. Like you're getting stomped out, you're getting shot at. You might as well have that big damage. But like, I don't know if Bungie themselves are going to see it that way. The risk reward there. I mean, I could look at the Warlock trees, and aside from Nova Warp and Storm Trance, in PvE specifically, I don't think we need any super buffs. Like Dawnblade's good all around.
And Dawnblade's movement is a little bit of a nerf.
I think that they don't need to Icarus dash twice. Like if they can keep the distance if they want, just take one of those dashes away. Because I don't know, they move way too fast and too far for most play. I haven't played Titan more than I have played Hunter. The Solar Supers need a buff on that class. I think they have potential to do good things, but Burning Maul, if you're not up in their face, it doesn't matter what you're doing to them. Like, I think that super especially needs mad help.
I can play Burning Maul. Before TC came out, I used Maul and with Ashen Wakes, and I would go on a rampage with the Fusion Nade in the hammer. But the Maul itself, Fates called me a idiot for using it all the time, and I could pull off lights out smells. I got freaking Slayers with it. You just had to play smart.
Yeah.
You had to predict where people were going to be and whatnot.
So,
we're talking about supers specifically to catch you up.
I was thinking of something while I was away. We haven't even considered the fact that like exotics that are balanced around current light subclasses.
What are they going to do when we get these buffs?
So like,
which one are you thinking in particular?
Well, first off, like we're sitting here talking about abilities as a hunter. What about Frosties? Right, so I'm pretty sure there's an arc. Part of one of the arc trees is increased ability regeneration while sprinting.
Will it stack with Frosties? Would it stack or would it be multiplicative?
Yeah, and not only that, like, so I could take that. I could take the melee I want, the super I want, and like that. I don't know. The combination seems kind of.
That's probably why it's
crazy.
Taking so long to buff these light subclasses or do whatever they're doing to them, because it's a lot of factors to think about.
Yeah, they can't just.
On the subject of the Dawnblade, we were talking about the dash like being a little needing something um, done to it because it's kind of ridiculous that a class can move the way it can. Chance was talking about how have one dash removed from it, so make it where you can dash once but not twice. And that's honestly fair. But I feel like it was played with guys like me in mind that aren't like you talked about it just a little while ago, that the community gets shit and they break it. And they did not expect the community to be able to move like that with it. Like, it was made for guys like me that 2 is good. Like, I can barely get out of shit with it. But then you got guys like freaking Frostbolt who can just use it to fly around the map.
To be honest, though, that's their own fault because they took away the burst glide speed on Dawnblade. Like, you remember, we used to go like stupid fast. You would kill yourself with it. They took that away, and then
I did not know this. I just pictured
outspeed sparrows. With it, it was hilarious.
I just pictured this the whole thing of a team of warlocks flying across the map and hitting a wall.
I think the problem with I think we need to be slower overall. I think character speed is too fast in Destiny 2. I think if you took us down back to D1 speed, you wouldn't. I don't think I don't think the dodge would be as
impactful
as like it would be, but you definitely want to use it smarter,
right?
Because you're not going to be able to run.
I have 2 questions. When you say like take our speed down, do you mean movement speed or just
100%.
everything? Okay, so like sprint or like strafe, basically.
I think just overall we are faster. Like overall, just
are we faster or are the maps smaller?
Well, no, because like you look at D1 maps, they're literally cut and paste, right? Yeah. Like there's nothing that's changed about like the D1 maps that they've ported over. They're still the same size. It's just we are a lot quicker. Time to kills might be a little bit lower. I don't know. I'd have to look. I'm not gonna.
There was a video I watched. Body shot time to kills are higher. But you know, the crits are about the same.
It's pure movement speed. I mean, like, you can get the fact that like you don't get punished for like being out of position. Like you can. I mean, yeah, you can get punished for being out of position, but 9 times out of 10, if you're quick enough, you can reposition yourself in a gunfight, right? Like it's.
I feel like that depends because, like, if it's the top tree Dawn, then definitely they can do that. If it's Shiver Strike Titan, I mean, I don't know if they can do that so much these days, but they could have done that. If it's
but even still, like before Stasis even came out, movement speed is insanely high at D2. It was a problem. It's why all these maps that they ported over feel so small and everyone hates playing them now. I shouldn't say everyone, but you know what I mean? Like people are like, oh man,
it feels stale, basically.
Yeah, like for example, man, people used to love Twilight Gap in D1. Like I distinctly remember people liking Twilight Gap.
It feels awful in this game for some reason.
And
you might be right on this.
Awful. It is because people are flying around. I mean, think about how fast like you can cap 3 points in like Iron Banner now. Like it's I think I've seen more mercies in D2 than I ever saw in D1. I don't know if that's just skill based or if it's just
a bit of both.
The fact that matches play faster. You know, everything plays faster now because of that. And I think if you took it down, I mean, really, just took it down. I don't see what the problem was. I mean, D1 movement was fine, in my opinion.
I feel like they can't do that without doing that to PvE as well, and people are going to bitch about that if they do. Which, I mean, probably who cares at this point. But, like,
Destiny community bitch? Oh, no.
Literally, like, I feel like we're bitching about something new every week.
We hate the PvPers. They can't have anything. Meanwhile, we haven't gotten a new map.
The people that play PvP now are the ones like that truly enjoy it. We were talking about it just the other day. Like we were playing Trials. We got to 4 wins before we got our first loss, and we were just having fun. We didn't even care. Like we weren't even upset. We were just having fun playing Trials.
It's I don't know. It's. I think people need to realize that like there are some people who don't play PVE, right? They just solely PvP. But at 9 times out of 10, I do both. Like I just like PvP more.
I think Chance is like the only one of us that does Grandmasters.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm hardcore to
if
both.
I had the people to do Grandmasters and I wasn't lazy, I would be something I would attempt.
Crossplay next season?
I mean, maybe
7CR in Trials?
fingers crossed.
The Trials episode?
You guys get our field of view.
Assuming Bungie anti-cheat fucking kicks in finally, and we don't catch.
Yeah, that would hurt.
No, we can catch some. We can. That was also part of the
The
4chan leaks. Yeah,
I'm not.
they
holding my
actually.
breath.
I mean, I'm not either, but I'm like, okay. But
You
yeah, I
piqued
think
my
that's
interest.
yeah, definitely on the lookout for it. You know, if it turns up and it's something, I'm like, okay, you know what, that works
Yeah.
because I have actually had my card ruined because of it on several
I remember,
occasions. So.
literally, the night that it happened, I sent him a meme, but it was.
I was not happy, and I was angry, but like I think Chad was significantly more angry about it than I was.
Well, he usually is.
Well, I think it was just because like I went through Season of the Worthy, and that was awful, and it was like every other game. So at that point, I was like numb to it. I was just like, yeah, this sucks. I'm annoyed, but they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, but
yeah,
wrapping up, Stasis. Yep. It's almost there. Like I think that it right now is in a good spot
for this season.
For this
they
season,
introduced new fragments.
I mean, I think by now they've gotten to the point where all the fragments that they had in the pipeline that were busted have kind of been fixed. But who knows?
Optimistic viewpoint.
Yeah. Life's been good. What can I say? I'm not the negative asshole I once was, I swear. Anywho, that's going to be it for us here at 7CR. If you want to catch any of us live, I stream at twitch.tv/Tippercat. It's been a minute, but we're getting back into it. Fates, where can they find you at?
Twitch.tv/Fates_Pyro. It has also been a minute. It's pretty much everywhere. Fates_Pyro. Just look for a purple logo. It's fine.
Look for the purple logo. Purple Man?
Yeah.
Where can they find you at?
You can find the Purple Man on Twitter and Instagram at GearShutter09.
To clarify, before we sign off, that's literally what he says as he pops Nova Warp in Trials. We just hear like this battle cry, "I'm purple!" and then everybody dies.
Literally turn into a call out. Like I don't even. You can't make these things up.
Like, what can I say? We're about to go play Trials right now, and it's gonna get called out. That's gonna be it for us here at 7CR. Thank y'all for hanging out again, and we will catch y'all in the next one.